Hello, my friends, and happy weekend, Sunday, winter, December, whatever you got going. Welcome, and don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel because we got a whole lot of good stuff coming for you today for subscribers. As you know, if you are a regular viewer of my channel, I pride myself on bringing you discounts and free stuff as often as possible, and I've got a new batch of absolutely free stuff for you today just for the asking. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, you know that one of my passions to learn about over the past, 2 or 3 years or so is the NPB, Japanese Professional Baseball. And I started by learning about the history of the game, and the more I learn about it, the more fascinated I get. In the description for this video, you're going to find a whole lot of links to my favorite writer about the history of Japanese baseball, Rob Fitz. He has a website that I am linking below for all sorts of books and e-reading that you can do, and it's very reasonably priced and wonderfully done. He's a great writer. He's also teamed up with some folks to create some projects that are well worth your time. If you are just beginning to learn about Japanese baseball or know a little bit about it, either way, Rob Fitz's stuff is fantastic. I'm also going to link the Baseball Guru's site, and there is a Japanese baseball page there created by Jim Albright, who has done a lot of extensive research on Japanese baseball using a lot of different source material to kind of pull together some evaluations of great players in Japanese history by using a lot of different sources. He has a ranking of the best players. The ranking is maybe, 15 years or so old, but he has a discussion there about the best players in Japanese baseball history, plus he has a discussion of which players should be in the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame and which shouldn't make it. He has created a system for evaluating those players and kind of to judge whether or not those players have Hall of Fame worthy credentials for the NPB or not. I am fascinated by Japanese baseball for a lot of different reasons. The rules are slightly different. The ballparks are wonderful. The fan involvement looks like a lot of fun. It's more like a concert than the laid-back approach that United States fans have to a baseball game. And if I did mention the rules, they have a 28-man roster, and 25 of those players are activated for any one game. I think that's an amazingly intelligent way to go ahead and create a system. Extra innings are 3-inning affairs. So regardless of who scores first or last or whatever, whoever is ahead at the end of the 12th inning gets the win. And if there's nobody ahead at the end of the 12th inning, the game's a tie. I think that's an interesting concept. The DH, of course, is part of their game. They have a rich history. They have a later and extended dead ball period to their history, and some wonderful players who certainly would have been amazing MLB stars as well. And of course, they have many exports who have come to the United States and done extremely well here as well, and you know their names also. But today, I'm going to be showing you a project that I've been working on for I don't know, since summer for sure. I've been trying to create APA cards based on the some understanding of the greatest players, past and present, in NPB history, in the context of creating a team or teams. If there's interest, I may go ahead and create another one, or two, or three. I get carried away sometimes. In the interest of creating a team that would be a Japanese version of an APA Bats team set. So what I did was I spent a lot of time looking at the data for Japanese baseball, and that includes fielding data, pitching data, base running data, and of course batting data, and doing a lot of reading about, okay, so we're going to put a team together here, but we know that in evaluating talent, a lot of times a group of 30, the top 30 players aren't, 10 or 12 pitchers and then maybe 8 infielders and then the rest outfielders. It doesn't work like that. There's a mix. You got to create a team. And so sometimes the second baseman fall way back or another position. So you got to be flexible and kind of mix and match and put the right people together. So what I have done is to create a 30-card APA NPB team. Best of, I'm pretty confident that I got a reasonably accurate handle on a team of 30 of the very, very best NPB stars throughout their history, going all the way back. I think my oldest season that any one of these players was created a card for is 1937. And it comes all the way to 2019. So from 1937 to 2019 is the season range. Now, how did I do it? Well, I wanted to pick the biggest names. And if you've ever done any coaching, you know that when you're talking about the players that make a particular team, you know that there's a batch automatically make it. Like there's a group of people that are like at the top, and they're automatically in. And then you got some people that are probably right behind them, pretty sure they're going to be in. And then you got a big group of maybes, like bubble people that you could go either way on. Well, the same thing happened here when I tried to create this team. So there are some obvious choices. Ichiro is an example of an obvious guy who's going to make this team. But then there's this larger group of folks who you got to make decisions about. You got to make some roster choices. And I wanted to keep the first batch to 30 so that if you want to go with a 28-man team, a couple extra guys, and then have that 3-man taxi squad I was talking about that can rotate, you can do that. If you want to follow the NPB, what is now the NPB practice of a 6-man starting rotation, you can do that. You have enough starters and enough flexibility in this team that I have created to do that. So we have that. So I figured on that, and then I figured, okay, so how do I put data on the cards that will be helpful to you to play the game? And I created so much data on the cards that they were cluttered. So I put a little data on the card, and then I have done something else, and that is to create a 1-page handout that covers all 30 of the players in the set and gives you more information that is on the card in one piece of paper, so that if you don't know who these folks are, many of them you will, some of them you may not. And if you don't, you can get that information right here. So, what have I done? Well, I've created the 30 cards for the APBA basic baseball game. And I'm holding them right here in my hand. You can have these cards right here, and we're going to take a look at them in just a minute. You can have these cards, these 30-man set. You can run them against your bats teams. You can run them against regular teams and see how they do. When I create, and you can also get, and this sheet will come with the cards. So you get scans, a PDF of all of these cards, plus you get this sheet for the very, very low price of absolutely free. That's right. If you subscribe to my channel and send me an email, and my email is in the description below in this video, if you send me an email and say, yep, I want those APBA NPB cards and the handout, you get it all for free if you subscribe to my channel. It's free for my subscribers. You can share this video. You can spread the word to other folks and tell them, hey, take a look at these cards Kurt created. There might be something good here. And we can send those out. All you have to do is subscribe. There's no cost. In the next few days on my channel, you'll see a demo game, or maybe 2, or maybe 3, or maybe I'll get carried away and make it a series, where you'll see these guys in action against different teams. And I'm kind of excited about giving them a run on the channel and letting you take a look and see how they do. So let's take a look at the roster for this team. And again, there's more information about NPB baseball in the description for the video, loads of links, wonderful sources, all that stuff is ready to go for you in case you want to dive in and are fascinated by this as well. So let's take a look at the sheet that I prepared for you, plus the cards that you'll get if you just send me an email, subscribe to my channel, and send me an email and tell me that you want them. Let's do that now. Let's start by looking at the cards that you get just for the asking, for free. So on each card, you'll get the season that the player's card is based on and the team that they were with in that year. Now, for all of these players, for all 30 players, I did not choose their peak season, their absolute best season. I chose their second or third best season where I felt most comfortable with the data. So these cards are of players in their prime, but not their absolute peak. So the players that you get that are pitchers in this set are the following. Inao, who was the probably has the best peak career of any NPB pitcher, but he didn't last as long as another guy that's in the set. Victor Starfin is a Russian emigre who was a 42-game winner. So you can see in this case, I put team, and then you can see for Inao, I put his won-loss record in the 1961 season up here on the birth line. And this is where I put any data that I included, I put here. I started out by putting it up here as well, and it was just too cluttered. But we have the batting rating here for the pitcher based on his batting stats. He was an AC pitcher. He did do some work in relief, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. He has YZ modifiers with a 2 fielding rating, and he was slow on the bases. Starfin was a Russian emigre who from 1939. He was 6'3", so you can imagine, especially then, how he lived a very interesting life, a very difficult life, and was actually victim of pretty serious prejudice. They put him in an internment camp, but He was an excellent pitcher, as you can see, and he even played some first base as well. Canada is, I believe Canada is how you say it, but he would be probably the best pitcher in terms of career value, where Inao would be the peak value guy. Also an AC pitcher, YZ modifiers, 29 and 12 in 1955. Hideo Nomo, another pitcher who I put in the set, 1991, 17 and 11, grade A pitcher with XW modifiers. Daisuke Matsuzaka, the Red Sox right-hander, a B pitcher with a Z modifier. This is from 2004 with Cebu, and this is a 10 and 6 season for him. Eiji Sawamura, AC pitcher, fascinating story there too, 1937. He died in World War II. Yu Darvish made the team, 2008, 16 and 4, an A pitcher with YZ modifiers. Masahiro Tanaka, who you may also know as well, a Yankee, 2009, A pitcher with YZ modifiers. He was 15 and 6 in 2009. Shohei Ohtani is in the set, 2014 season for him. He has outfield ratings here as well. He was an A pitcher with an X modifier. I included his one-loss data as well as his batting splits on the card as well. Kaz Sasaki, who you know from the Mariners, had an amazing season in 1998. AB rating, XYZ modifiers. He's our first pure reliever. Seungwon Oh, the final boss, 39 saves in the 2014 season for him. He's actually a Korean pitcher who pitched a couple seasons in the NPB. Takashi Saito, who you may remember from the Dodgers, the Brewers, the Diamondbacks. I think I'm missing a team as well in the MLB. This is his 2001 season. There are his ratings, 27 saves. Yutaka Inatsu is a pitcher from the 80s. He's kind of the left-handed Dennis Eckersley of the NPB. Long career of starting, and then he shifted to the bullpen. And there's our pitchers. So for the 30-man roster, I created 13 potential pitchers for your use. And the last 17 are position players. Here they are. You can see what I did here. They have the season and the team. And then over here, we have their awards. Typically, sometimes I put stats, but usually it's awards. What made this guy special? The best 9 is kind of not their all-star team, but it's their all MLB team. So they'd be like the best. There's 2 leagues of 6 teams each, and they would be the best 9 is in that one of those 2 leagues. This player is one of the 3 best or 4 best or 5 best ever in terms of position players, best catcher ever. Katsuya Nomura, 19 best 9 awards, which is just obscene. It's ridiculous. 2 gold gloves, but the gold gloves started late in his career, so I put an asterisk there to flag to you that he would have won more. There's his defensive rating. There's his speed. These are all of his hitting ratings. Another catcher, Koichi Tabuchi, sorry. Still getting used to the names. Defensive rating, speed. He's also spent time as a DH. He won 5 best 9 awards. He won 2 gold gloves. This is his 1978 season. Atsuya Furuta, the 3rd catcher. He's more modern, 2004 from Yakult. 8 Best 9 awards for him, 9 Gold Gloves. So those are your 3 catchers. Then we have a purely DH, 1990 for Oryx, Hiromitsu Kadota, purely a DH, 1988 MVP, 567 homers, put him 3rd on the all-time list in the NPB, but look at his height and weight, 5'7", 178, and he crushed 567 homers. Interesting story there, too. This is the man, of course, Sadaharu Oh, 1966 season. He won a total of 9 MVPs in his career, 2 Triple Crowns. There's his position and his rating. There's his card. It's pretty amazing. And, of course, in his career, he hit 868 home runs. This player kind of the opposite, very different. Tetsuharu Kawakami is a 1953 player who used a red bat. And after a conversation with Ted Williams, went for line drive hitting rather than power. He won 3 MVPs back in those days, and 5 times a batting champ. His nickname was the God of Batting. Hiromitsu Ochiai is a 3-position player, kind of a rebel, but so he was moved around a lot defensively, but awful lot of hits as well. Kind of an amazing hitter, actually. 3 Triple Crown wins for him, and this is based on his 1993 season. Shigeru Chiba is maybe the best second baseman in NPB history. 1950 season, in his career, he won 7 Best 9s. Kaz Matsui, if you are a National League fan, you know him, Rockies and Mets. Shortstop, second base, outfield, very versatile player. He won 7 Best 9 awards in the NPB and 4 Gold Gloves, all at shortstop. Next player is Yasumitsu Toyoda, and I did spell that correctly. 1959, 6 Best 9 awards for him. Maybe the best shortstop, although it's probably him or Matsui. Best shortstop in NPB history. This man is probably the most popular player in the history of the NPB. Shigeo Nagashima, third baseman, 17 Best 9 awards, 5 MVP awards, more popular than Sadaharu Oh, and just an amazing ball player. In this season, he hit 39 home runs. Then we switch to the outfield. This man is the Ricky Henderson or Lou Brock, I guess, of the NPB. Yutaka Fukumoto is a 12-time Gold Glove winner, the career stolen base leader by hundreds over the number 2 man. He was a center fielder. Isao Haramoto is the only player in the history of the NPB to get 3,000 hits. And I included his slash line here to give you an idea of his amazing season. 1967 for him. Hideki Matsui was a tough decision. One of the last guys I included in the set. You could argue he's kind of a bubble guy in terms of being one of the best 30 players. But I did include him. He had 8 Best 9 awards. He had 0 Gold Gloves. He was a weaker glove guy than some of these players, but it was an amazing season for him. 314 average, 38 homers, 99 ribbies. So I included him. Koji Yamamoto is an amazing player as well. He was a right fielder. This was a 43 home run season for him. One of the 15, maybe one of the 10 best players ever. right field power hitter, 10 best 9, 10 gold gloves. This card is from 1981, a season of his with Hiroshima. This guy is an interesting guy. Seiya Suzuki could be the next big thing in the major leagues. However, the lockout is probably hurting his chances of making a 2022 well, now it is a lockout, but the length of the lockout could keep him from coming over. He has 5 best 9s, 3 gold gloves. This was his 2019 season, where he hit .335 and slugged .565 and hit 28 homers. Very, very good player. And here's Ichiro. This is his 1998 season with Oryx. In his career in the NPB, he had 7 best 9s and 7 gold gloves. And those are the 17 position players. Now, let's take a look at the data sheet that I also am including with this. So this is what you get on the data sheet. You get a list of the entire roster here. Which way do they bat? Which way do they throw? A reminder of the season that the player who is carded, what season their card is from. Key statistics for each player in that season. In some cases, for their career, but at least you'll get their season stats that the card is based on. And I didn't want to include that as clutter on the card. So you get that on this sheet. Then I include a notes column, something interesting or additional about the player, the awards that they earned in their career, not all of them, but some of the highlights, and then my last shot. In some cases, a nickname is included, Final Boss. And in some cases, there are just some other things here. This turned into a little bit of a racing form if you've ever gone to the races. But I thought this would be helpful to understand the information that goes with the players on the cards. So, with all of that said, what do? Well, you go to my description for this video and you check out the links, including the email to me, and let me know. And I'll fire off the PDFs of this, plus the cards. All you have to do is to subscribe to my channel, and you're ready to go. All right. Thank you so much for being with me. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Enjoy the day. Have a great day. So long, everybody.